Welcome to Awesome Movie Year, the podcast where we take a look back at an awesome year for movies, which is every year. I'm Josh Bell, film critic and writer, and I'm joined by my co-host.
I'm Jason Harris, filmmaker, comedian, and the fourth Andrews sister.
Oh, yeah. Somehow this is the second movie featuring the Andrews sisters that we've talked about. So really angling to join the Awesome Movie Year Hall of Fame, those ladies.
This one is Ritzless, though, Josh.
They weren't in. They were in the Abbott and Costello movie. I don't think they were in the Ritz Brothers movies.
But they have done movies with the Ritz Brothers. They all run together after a while to me.
Yeah,
Josh.
Brothers, sisters, duos, who knows? But
weren't they in Shawshank when we covered that? Didn't they sing, Andy Dufresne is going to jail.
I think they could have been referenced in Shawshank, I guess,
the time period was right.
Popular during that period. Yeah, they could have been a poster that Andy Dufresne might have used early in his stint in prison, but I don't think they were. They are, however, in this film. And in this season of Awesome Movie Year, we're talking about the films of 1946, and this is our animation pick featuring the Andrews sisters and lots of other music. It is Walt Disney's Make Mine Music, a 10-segment anthology that is similar to the much more famous Fantasia, which takes on classical music. This movie has a wider range of different kinds of music, including swing and jazz and vocals, and like the Andrews sisters.
Oh, vocals.
Yeah. I mean, well, there's no vocals, I don't think, in... it's been a long time since I've seen Fantasia, but I think it's all instrumental music, right?
You know what there are vocals in, Josh? Me, Wise Magic, the Lost Van Halen song. Whenever I hear Make Mine Music, I keep thinking Me, Wise Magic. So
I don't know why. It's not a Lost Van Halen song. It was like a single when they reunited with David Lee Roth.
Pretty sure most Van Halen fans wanted to get lost.
Well, that's different, but it definitely is out there. If you want to listen to it for whatever reason, maybe make an animated short set to that song. That would be something.
Yeah, I mean, you could get David Lee Roth. Well, it's time to remake it, So Ain't Talking About Love. Let's get it. We could do, Blue Bonnet and Johnny Fedora to Ain't Talking About Love or something like that.
I don't know if that would do justice either to Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet or to Ain't Talking About Love, but
I'm just spitballing. We just came up with this remake idea with Van Halen soundtracking the whole thing right now. I'm not going to get it all right at the first crack at it, Josh.
You sure aren't. You definitely are not. So this was the third anthology movie in a sort of a down period for Disney. I mentioned Fantasia, and I think we talked about this when we did our episode on Dumbo, that some of these movies that we now think of as big Disney classics, like Pinocchio, actually didn't do all that well at the box office. And so from 1942, when Bambi was released, until 1950, when Cinderella was released, Disney put out 6 of these kind of omnibus anthology type movies, which were easier and cheaper to produce. Also, a lot of their staff was busy fighting in World War II.
Doing war.
Unavailable to animate stuff. So they were a little shortchanged, or shorthanded rather. So Saludos Amigos and The Three Caballeros were the two that... Caballeros were the two that came before this, both South American themed, I guess. And this was the third of those, and it continued on from here. But these were, I think, relatively successful. This movie grossed $3.275 million on its budget of either $350,000 or $1.35 million, which is a big difference. But both of those figures were reported. Either way, still, making a profit there. And it was shown at the 1946 Cannes Film Festival, which we've mentioned several times now, the first ever Cannes Film Festival where they just kind of invited everyone, it seems like.
Yeah, and that seems like what festivals are doing again now. So it all comes full circle.
I guess so. So Yeah, I mean, this movie is a mix of, we've got some adaptations. Casey at the Bat was a well-known poem that is adapted here into a segment, and Peter and the Wolf, the famous Sergei Prokofiev composition, and then some lesser-known pieces and original stuff. It's a mixed bag, pretty much.
It's a mishmash, if you will, Josh.
It is.
These things often are. I'm surprised you didn't watch Saludos Amigos to give us a little more background on it. But
no,
we'll have to just go with Fantasia as our reference point here. I do get it. Like you said, lower staff available because we had to fight Nazis. And now we just let them kill people on our streets. Isn't that great? But this is what had to be done at the time. So why not? Let's do it. I mean, when I'm watching this, I'm like, I can see, just tell the kid to go watch a movie for 80 minutes and leave me, not my kid. But if I was a parent in this time, I'd be like, get out of here. Scram, you little rapscallion. Go to the picture show. See, Make My Music. I don't even know what that title means. See? Whatever. Dumb Dora, get going.
All right. That's it's probably not an inaccurate assessment, though, that this is just a way to kind of keep kids occupied and fill space in the theater and keep Disney afloat while they wait for the opportunity to make these more ambitious films that they eventually made later.
Do you think this whole World War II situation, that really had to be a conflict, an inner conflict for Walt Disney? Because on the one hand, he's fighting for America, but on the other hand, he's fighting for the Jews.
Well, I don't think Disney participated, right? He didn't.
He probably made entertainment. He had a lot of his staff there. Maybe he gave money to the war effort, and he's like, "Yeah, America, I'm good for that." But these Jews, can we do it without fighting for these Jews?
I don't know. I suppose you could do some research on that.
Maybe he called Roald Dahl, and Roald Dahl was like, "Yeah, I'm for this war too, for England. But these Jews, do we have to fight for them too?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's possible. We've
seeing a pattern here.
Discussed these very these really
anti-Semitism, Josh.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, and then Disney was, Walt Disney was had other flaws. He was very anti-union. That's a big thing in the early days of Disney as well. These animators attempting to unionize and being crushed. So it created beloved entertainment. Maybe not the best guy. Person.
At least the company's righted this ship and hasn't gone back on principles lately to kowtow to a dictator.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he was pro-Hitler. We can at least give him that, right?
Yeah, that's more than what Bob Iger's legacy is going to be after what he did with Trump this last term. Anyway, me wise magic.
Yeah, make my music. So this is, we'll say this is pretty much a forgotten Disney movie. And if you look on like Letterboxd right now, the response to it is generally not very positive. But at the time it came out, and this is in the early days of Disney. It's in the first decade of the existence of Walt Disney Studios making animated films. And there is a lot of goodwill for Disney, including in these little anthology movies. So critics were pretty positive about this overall. Bosley Crowther in the New York Times said, "This latest feature-length picture from the Disney Atelier is peculiarly like a basket of assorted Easter eggs. Vivid, motley, ornamental, and just a bit questionable in spots. Into 1 hour and 15 minutes, Mr. Disney and his dexterous crew have packed 10 distinctive cartoon subjects of varying character and length, some of them thoroughly delightful, and some of them ponderous and dull. No artistic pattern associates the lot. They are just so many short subjects. You pays your money and you takes your pick."
Yeah, when I see an Easter egg basket, I say, look at those eggs. They're vivid and motley. That's how I describe Easter eggs. So I get it, Bosley Crowther. So.
And one of them might turn out to be a dud, which I don't know if you want to. I feel like he's trying to describe it like Forrest Gump's box of chocolate. Maybe
he really, it was like you're saying, a forced analogy that didn't really work. So I would not pays my money to read that's review. I'll tell you that much.
All right.
But like you had alluded to, Josh, there are some more interesting ones and some that are just boring and you're ready to get over with.
Yeah, and they don't seem to necessarily, again, it's been a long time since I've seen Fantasia, but I feel like there is a somewhat thematic,
a fantastical through line,
yeah, exactly,
whimsy, a surreal, ethereal, a vivid and motley through line, if you will, Josh.
Yes, and this doesn't have that. I mean, we get these, kind of wacky comedic shorts with narration, which again is not present in Fantasia. We get these more abstract ones that are a little closer to what they do. A whole range of stuff that doesn't really connect in any way except using the music. And even then, like Casey at the Bat, for example, is not exactly like, there is music, but it's not the main focus of it.
Yeah, they probably should have used Hot for Teacher.
You're really going all in on this, huh?
Well, I mean, I'm creating a narrative thread that this movie doesn't have by adding, I haven't even gotten to the Hagar years, and we'll see if Gary Sharon gets in there or not. But, I don't mind, again, considering the circumstances, and they're like, hey, we have to go light and nimble. We have to kind of still output stuff. Like, not everything's going to be Fantasia. So I didn't mind that aspect of it. I just don't, they weren't all that enthralling. If like all 10 of them were enthralling, I wouldn't have been like, where's the narrative through line? But those flaws become more glaring because they're not all that, interesting.
Yeah, that is true. I think some of them are good, and I didn't think there were any that were outright bad, but you're right. It's a little like, it feels haphazard, and if you're kind of bored by one of the segments, there's nothing else to like no bigger picture to be holding your interest while you watch it.
I feel like we talked about this with another movie. I don't know which one, but one of the issues I had with this is you could zone out at any time, go make a snack, take a shower, come back in. You really don't miss much, no matter where you come back into the thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think you might have mentioned that in a movie where you felt like the plot didn't go anywhere. And of course, this doesn't have an overarching plot. So you would have missed potentially a whole segment. And if it was a nice segment, you would have been missing out on that. But yeah, you can pick back up and you won't be lost.
Well, it's just another reason to take quick showers, right? Save water. Don't miss Make Mine music segments.
Yeah, or just watch the movie and then take a shower afterwards.
Yeah.
Or while you're showering.
Sure, yeah. Make sure your screen is waterproof, I guess. I don't know.
You could test it by taking a bath and throwing a toaster in it.
All right. So Edwin Schallert in the Los Angeles Times was quite positive. He said, having essayed the lofty heights of the classics in Fantasia, Walt Disney invades a much lighter level of entertainment in similar manner in Make Mine Music, a picture of much inventiveness and imagination. The lighter the picture is, the more its excellence demonstrated, it might be noted. And while music is the keynote of the production, it ranges well into comedy and plentifully into swing. Benny Goodman, the Andrews Sisters, Dinah Shore, Sterling Holloway, and Jerry Colonna are among the stars involved in its gayer and more whimsical proceedings, and they are responsible for as diverting an excursion on the screen as has ever been contrived, one which will bring delight to a throng of fans.
Gay delight to the throngs? Who doesn't want that?
Yeah.
I do agree that the more lighthearted ones are easily the more entertaining ones. So I'm with them on that. Dave, do you think we need a Jackass-style warning? Do not throw your toaster in the bathtub. This is all for entertainment purposes.
I think anything goes nowadays with podcasts, so you're good.
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, the serious ones and also the ones with like the slower paced music, kind of when you're zoning out, those are the ones that are easiest to zone out to.
Right. Yeah. The blue Bayou or whatever, and the one with the ballet dancers that are just kind of abstract, and yeah, they're almost they could put you to sleep, perhaps.
I just watched this movie like an hour ago, and I'm having trouble placing the ballet dancers.
Oh. Well, it was, I mean, I kind of thought it was a little dull, but it was kind of cool because they rotoscoped the animation over real ballet dancers. So, that was a little interesting, but they just kind of, it's all fairly abstract and they just do a little short dance routine. And it's not super memorable, but I mean, I remember it and I watched the movie like 3 days ago.
That was the Without You one.
No, I don't think so. No, Without You, that was a different one. That's where where it's sort of looking out a window and there's like sort of abstract colors. The ballet one is called Two Silhouettes with the two dancers that are.
Oh
yeah.
That makes sense.
Now you remember.
It's all coming back to me.
Yeah, such a distant memory of that.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I feel like he's being a bit, Edwin Shallard here is being a bit hyperbolic in terms of the greatness of this movie, and especially coming on the heels of Fantasia. It's not like this was first and then there was this better version of it later. Like Fantasia had already come out and been impressive. So I think this is not in the same realm. But again, people were quite impressed. Abel Green in Variety, also very positive, said, "There is so much in Make Mine music. The animation, color and music, the swing versus synth, and the imagination, execution, and delineation that this Disney feature, 2 years in the making, may command widest attention yet. The blend of cartoon with human action has been evidenced before. Here Disney has retained all of his characters in their basic art form, but endowed them with human qualities, voices, and treatments, which is another step forward in the field where cartoons graduate into the field of the classics. But above all, since after all this is fundamentally a film, he has concocted a Sacco Bio entertainment."
This is fundamentally a film.
Right? Yeah, I don't know exactly. I think they mean fundamentally like a commercial product there. And it's gotta do Sacco business at the Bio.
Yeah. Baffo Sacco Courtney. What am I saying? Baffo Sacco Corky, Baffo Sacco. It's from Waiting for Guffman, which we covered on this. There's no Courtney in that movie. It's Corky.
Right.
Claire. Probably my leading candidate for my Halloween costume this year.
All right. I look forward to that. I hope, we could all do awesome movie year themed Halloween costumes maybe.
Oh, that's a good idea. Dave, what are you going to do? Ernest?
Yeah, that's a good possibility. We'll see about my pick later this season. Maybe someone from there.
Oh, all right. Yeah. No, I think maybe, Jason, I know you like Corky, but perhaps we should dress as the Ritz brothers.
All three of us. What a great idea. I'm in it as long as I could be Harry, because I want to make funny sounds the whole day.
All right. Yeah, this is probably not going to happen. But Jason, had you seen this before or any segments from this? The thing about this movie is that it, as a feature, is kind of hard to watch, but individual pieces of it have been released in various other forms.
I feel like I've seen a good number of these segments before. I've not seen the whole movie, but I've definitely seen the Casey at the Bat segment. I think we all probably saw that. The whale segment at the end, which is horrifying. I think we've all maybe seen that. And there might have been, whether it was the Hatfields and McCoys or one of the dance numbers. I mean, we all know Peter and the Wolf in different iterations, maybe that one. So I can't recall, but they all, at least 4 or 5 of them felt familiar.
Yeah, I kind of thought that I would have more familiarity with these. I definitely have seen Casey at the Bat. That was one that I knew right away, and I think that has aired on TV a lot. I think I had not seen any of the other ones, though. I mean, I'm certainly, as you said, I'm familiar with Peter and the Wolf as a piece of very famous music, but I don't know if I had seen this particular version of it. And then the other segments, including the whale, which you're right is quite horrifying. I don't think I had seen any of those before, so most of this was new to me.
The two that you just mentioned, Peter and the Wolf and the Whale, just make me think of the brilliance of Looney Tunes and how high are they executed on Kill the Wabbit, Kill the Wabbit, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The opera one?
What's Opera Doc? Yeah, that's a classic. And I agree. This is, not in that realm. I mean, these are less wacky than that, I mean, the whale one is, as you say, is actually really kind of tragic and horrifying.
Yeah.
And Peter and the Wolf is has a nice ending to it, but is definitely not. I mean, it's wackier here than it is to just listen to the composition, but it's not Looney Tunes wacky.
Well, we're talking about the lack of theme, but maybe the theme is because of all the deaths in the first one and the death of the main character in the last one. Maybe death is the overall theme to this kids movie, Josh.
Well, there is a shocking amount of death in this, and that's one of the reasons that this movie has been kind of suppressed by Disney, and in particular that opening sequence, the Martins and the Coys, which is the feuding families who just murder each other. And that segment has been, even when this has gotten limited issuing on home video, like 25 years ago, that segment was taken out. So it is a bit gruesome.
I found more shocking to be the second segment where like the lady's changing and they're showing like a bare back and she's getting into the shower with a towel on. It was so shocking. I watched it in slow motion 10 times in a row. That's not true. Not true.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And that segment also, that has been censored in various home video releases so that you don't see as much of that. But yeah, I was quite surprised to see that level of risque depiction. And that was my favorite segment overall, just the creativity of it.
Yeah, it was.
But that, that part helped too. So yeah, both of those have been kind of cut out as this has been released in later versions. Dave, had you seen any of these segments before?
Not that I know of, but like you guys both said, like it's possible some of them I had seen as just shorts at some point, but that's about it.
Have you listened to the Wendy Carlos version of Peter and the Wolf featuring Weird Al Yankovic's narration?
I have it, and it's very rare. It's actually pretty damn expensive and hard to find. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I haven't heard that. That's a very, obscure Weird Al project that I have not been familiar with, but that's cool. You have it on vinyl?
No, on CD. I wish I had it on vinyl. That's even more rare.
Oh, okay. So I didn't even know if it was ever issued on CD, if it was, so rare that they hadn't released it that way.
Yeah. If I may add, what the fuck are you two nerds talking about?
In 1988, Wendy Carlos, the composer, recorded a version of Peter and the Wolf featuring narration by Weird Al Yankovic.
Yep. That's great too.
Wonderful. Me was magic.
All right. Jason, anything else you want to say about the background of this movie?
Let's see, Josh. It's Disney in conjunction with like RKO, right? So Disney produced it, and I think RKO then released it. As you said, they were all basically been released in different versions as kind of shorts and on Disney programming. You've already mentioned the censoring of this, so I think we did it, buddy. We did it real well. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So we'll come back then and talk some more general thoughts on Make Mine Music. Welcome back to Awesome Movie Year. In this episode of our season on the films of 1946, we're talking about Walt Disney's animated non-classic Make Mine Music. And I mean,
got him.
Really, that's what it is. So, Jason, what was your favorite segment here?
What I realize is, especially because like you do get bored after some of these, easily my favorite segment was All the Cats Join In, because that was some hip swinging music there, right? So the music really got me, and the animation, from one to the next didn't affect me one way or the other. So I was really in it for just that upbeat bebop doobity doop 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 doops. Benny Goodman, baby, let's get it.
Yeah, you're doing some skibbity bops there, like our friend David Lee Roth. So
that's right. So, I mean, we've seen a lot of movies over the course of Awesome Movie Year with some nice swing music, and Benny Goodman's the king of swing. So, even earlier this year, we saw that crazy son of a bitch Jack in Crisis doing the jazz music in the bottom of the church. But this was this was good. That was good music, and the animation. So I felt like the animation supported the music as opposed to the music supported the animation. The music is the height of the segment for that. So that was my favorite one. Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. As I was saying earlier, that was definitely my favorite as well. And I think all the elements come together. I agree with you. The music is really good there. I mean, I liked the other Benny Goodman segment as well, but that's more of just a little abstract illustration, which was cool, but not as eye-catching as All the Cats Join In. And I think, yeah, it works well together. The animation is creative and fun. It's got the little meta approach where you see the pencil, like the animator is, drawing and redrawing the people and the locations as the segment goes on, and that's always fun. That's kind of a precursor, talking about Looney Tunes, of something like Duck Amuck. That's more meta and self aware, but this has a little bit of that, and so I thought that was fun. I liked the depiction of the teenager, hepcat culture or whatever, and then I did like that it was surprisingly risque. There's another bit where the animator is drawing this young woman, and he draws her with a large booty, and then she's upset about that, which she should not be.
Nah,
and
you got to be thick with 2 C's, girl.
Yeah, exactly. She was ahead of her time, I guess, but then he erases part of her behind and redraws her in a slimmer figure, which was a bummer. But it was a fun little bit in the segment. So yeah, that was great, and I think that was relatively early on, where even though maybe it started slow, when it got to that, I thought, oh, okay, maybe this is picking up, and that wasn't really the case.
Yeah, I mean, so before that, the first segment is that Hatfields and McCoy's one, which isn't bad. It's got that kind of do-si-do hootenanny music, so you got the energy right there. And then Blue Bayou, which is just 2 birds, oslets, I don't know, swans, whatever they are, egrets, perhaps.
Yeah,
I got there eventually. You gotta, I know my water-bearing birds, Josh. You got to just let me get there. So. That one was kind of boring, so this one picked it back up, I thought.
Yeah, I agree, and that again, it's like it's almost tonal whiplash, because you start with the Martins and the Coys, which is this goofy cartoon with narration and in a sort of more familiar Disney style, and then you get to this abstract Blue Bayou, which is just sort of slow and serious. And then here we are at this upbeat, kind of sexy, jazzy bit with the teenagers. And so at that point, it's like, what even is this? Like, we're just sort of throwing a bunch of stuff together without any thought to how it flows.
Yeah, I would say that is pretty much it. There is not necessarily a rhyme or reason. It's like, here's 9 shorts. What order should we put them in? Whatever order you want.
Right. I mean, and I don't know if these were developed kind of independently, or if there was an overarching plan, and then they were kind of made with the purpose of being in this film. There are 5 credited directors on this film: Jack Kinney, Clyde Geronimi, Hamilton Luske, Joshua Meador, and Robert Cormack, and there are 10 segments. So it's not like each segment was from a separate director necessarily. Presumably these people all worked in different combinations on all the segments, so they would have had maybe an overarching vision, or maybe Walt Disney himself had that vision.
I mean, and all those directors are animation directing legends, right? You look at their credits, it's Pinocchio, it's Cinderella, it's Lady and the Tramp, right? So, but I do, thinking about it, my guess is that, like you said, we knew Disney was shorthanded. I wonder if it was just like, everyone work on something, do a short, that's all we can do. Get your team together, do a short. We'll figure out how to put them out and put them together at a later date type thing.
Yeah, I mean, and it may be that they were working on lots of other shorts at the same time, because again, there were more of these movies to come, and there were a couple that had come before this, and it may have simply been, hey, what do we have ready now? We need to give RKO a film to release on this date. Let's throw together the shorts that we have right now and then call it a movie.
23 Skidoo, baby.
Yes, that's a thing that they all definitely said.
All the hip cats.
Yes. So, I mean, Casey at the Bat, certainly the most famous segment here, and the one that, again, I think most people are likely to have seen independently of this film. Did you enjoy, like, were you into that
Good
one as a kid?
lessons. Good lessons to learn, Josh. Focus on the game. Don't let all those rats trying to bang you for your money, steal your attention. You got to win the baseball game, or else you're going to strike out because those rats got your attention, Josh.
Were there literal rats, or they're just?
Nah, that's what I'm calling those broads.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if it was just that. I think Casey was just arrogant, right? He thought that he was so good that he could blow his first 2 chances and get 2 strikes, and then just would hit a home run and strong.
Like Darryl Strawberry with all that cocaine, right?
Yeah, I think the cocaine is implied, perhaps, in Casey at the Bat.
Maybe the white lines on the side of the baseball field, the baselines. So actually, as you guys know, I'm working on a baseball documentary right now, and I sent a clip of that segment to my client, and I was like, hey, was this from the game you guys played in the Little League World Series? So it was fun. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is this the only Casey at the Bat cartoon that we know as being kids? I didn't look that up, but, I wonder if we've seen more versions of this, more versions of Peter and the Wolf, things like that. But Casey and the Bat is such a well-known story. I didn't dislike that one. It brought back memories, and I like the sports, Josh, so that's fine. And I bet against Casey's team, so I came into a windfall.
That was a good call. So
Yeah.
I think this is the only animated version of Casey at the Bat. I'm looking, just looking right now. There are other adaptations, including, going all the way back to 1927 with a silent film starring Wallace Beery. That was the feature-length film, which I don't know how you could make this a feature-length film. But there were multiple silent adaptations and later TV versions, but I believe this is the only animated one. So this is something that I think was probably shown like in schools because it was based on a poem and maybe therefore it was somehow educational. I don't know. I feel like it was probably something I saw, in elementary school or something when they wheel in the TV and put on a VHS tape.
Yeah, I mean, the educational aspect, first of all, it's a poem, and it's a very famous poem that that was printed in the San Francisco Examiner in 1888 and then was taken and popularized on Broadway by all of our favorite kind of vaudeville, I would say. DeWolf Hopper did a lot of it. So it's one of the most famous poems in American history. And I always think of the great John Fogerty song, Center Field, when he references the Mudville Nine, which, like this segment or not, the Mudville Nine, that's just great. Mudville, that's an excellent old-timey baseball town,
Yes, yeah. It's Mudville, I guess.
The Hens, right? Weren't they the Mudville Hens?
Yeah. I was saying that Mudville is not a real place, but I guess a couple towns have claimed that they are the inspiration for the real for Mudville. But it's fun. It's very kitschy Americana stuff. I mean, even in 1946, it was already kind of old timey, and I'm sure that was part of the appeal of this.
What's wrong with those towns? Hey, we're the real Mudville. That's what you got to see. Our famous claim to fame is our best player struck out when we needed him to come through for us. Like it's a weird thing to claim.
Yeah, well, you want to be part of American history or whatever, I guess. But
you like that Fogerty song though?
That is good. Maybe we could add that to our remake of Make Mine Music.
Oh yeah, definitely not have Van Halen sing that. I don't think Roth's got the vocals that Fogerty has at this point.
I mean, I don't think Van Halen is newly recording anything anymore, given the passing of Eddie Van Halen. But no, I mean, we're gonna create a new Disney style omnibus with classic rock songs, right?
Yeah, the Mudville Nine. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play today.
Yeah, that is.
What was your least favorite, Josh?
I don't know. Maybe there were either Without You or Blue Bayou that are just kind of sit there. They don't really the songs are kind of slow and plodding, and the segments are just sort of abstract, just a bunch of colors, and they're short, so it's not a big deal. Like they just kind of start and end, and there it is. So those were probably my least favorite. I did kind of like the ballet segment that you forgot about, but what was your least favorite?
Well, the two that you referenced, I think another problem is that they put them not back to back, but it was Without You, then Casey, then the two silhouettes. They probably should have moved one of them down a few segments, I feel like, So I didn't like those. I was expecting more from Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet. They kind of let me down. But the one we got to talk about is the one we've alluded to, this horrifying finale. This is how we want the kids to go out. The whale who wanted to sing at the Met, this is what we're giving them?
Yeah, and it starts out and you think it's going to be kind of cute. The idea that this whale somehow has an amazing singing voice and ships hear him at sea and he gets newspaper coverage, and this kind of like blustery impresario is like, I'm going to get the whale that sings opera. And you think it's going to be like the...
Bravo, sir. Bravo.
Thank you. It's going to be like Sing, those terrible movies with the singing animals that we have now. But yeah, the impresario, for whatever reason, decides that it can't possibly be a whale singing. It must be a real human opera singer who's been swallowed by a whale. And thus he needs to kill the whale and rescue the opera singer. But it's not that at all. The whale really sings and gives this beautiful performance for this impresario when he arrives on his boat. And then he murders the whale. The end.
Yeah, and the whale had so much range that at one point the impresario thinks, "Oh, he must have eaten 3 singers. Now I really got to do the murder on this whale." And we got to give it up to the star of that one, Nelson Eddy. Right, he did a great job, I think, with the singing, and he also did the narration of it. So he did great, but. Literally, this movie ends with this guy harpooning the whale after the whale's been singing at the Met, and then is like, don't worry, now the whale can sing forever in heaven.
And the whale hasn't been singing at the Met. It's a long kind of fantasy sequence that the whale imagines the successful career as an opera singer that he will have because this impresario has come to discover him. But then instead of that, he just gets murdered.
It's a real an occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge situation.
Yeah. And disappointingly, we don't get to see the aftermath of the murder where they disembowel the whale looking for the opera singers inside that don't exist.
Yeah, and then just use, whale oil and whale skin. Or maybe they just leave the carcass and go, we were wrong. What's the next thing we could fuck up on?
Yeah, what other singing animals can we murder?
Ugh, dumb idiots, Josh.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird and kind of horrifying, but on the other hand, like, it's weird and horrifying, and hey, that's kind of a cool thing to have in this little Disney movie, right?
Well, again, I would think, even if it wasn't my favorite, you would probably want to put Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet, which is the romantic story of 2 hats that fall in love. You'd probably want to end it on something like that, I would feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whale is maybe because it's the longest segment, they decide to put it at the end because it feels like the culmination. But the Johnny Fedora segment is also relatively long, compared to some of these other ones. And so it certainly does have a happier ending. It has some moments there where you wonder, is Johnny Fedora going to survive? Is he going to reunite with Alice Bluebonnet? But it does have a nice happy ending to it that the whale does not get.
I was wondering if I also was thinking, did they think like, hey, we should space out Nelson Eddy, the Andrews sisters, and Benny Goodman, because those might be the biggest names doing this. But who the heck knows, bro?
Yeah, I mean, and Benny Goodman has 2 segments. He's the only one who gets 2 segments devoted to his music.
Deservedly.
I agree. Yeah. And like I said, that second Benny Goodman segment is not as good, but it's called After You've Gone. But it's still fun. I mean, even if it's also just another abstract representation like Without You, the music is more engaging. And so that makes it more enjoyable, I think.
Yeah. In this one, Goodman and the orchestra are, the opposite of personified, Josh. They become the musical notes and instruments in the charts, and we're utilizing the animation to tell the story of the music.
Yeah, and it's a nice little thing.
So. What is that called? Amorphosized?
Anthropomorphized. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah.
Words.
So I feel like Johnny Fedora sounds like a persona that you would adopt for.
Yeah, see? Like or maybe the driving crooner from I Think You Should Leave would be named Johnny Fedora or whatever. But yeah, I could be Johnny Fedora. I just watched, as Josh knows, I just watched Key Largo, and Edward G. Robinson really pulls off a real Johnny Fedora style performance as that gangster. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I was Johnny Chops once, so why can't I be Johnny Fedora?
Right.
So.
Yeah, I feel like you could. See, nowadays, of course, the fedora has if you met someone named Johnny Fedora, you would assume he's some sort of weird incel pickup artist or something. It would not.
Yeah, it sounds gross now.
Yeah,
Johnny
it would not
Fedora.
be heartwarming at all. So
I agree.
Dave, you're the music guy. What was your favorite segment?
Well, I like the whale one, of course, because it's just so freaking weird.
Because of the murder?
Yeah, it's just freaking strange. And I really like the one with the rotoscope dancers. I'm a sucker for that stuff, and I just thought it looked really cool.
Yeah, the one that Jason forgot about.
Yeah, exactly.
So. Wait, which segment?
The ballet dancers. Yeah, I mean, I think I liked the idea of that. And when they introduce it and they say, "Oh, featuring these dancers," and I thought, "Oh, what are they doing? You know, with these real is there going to be live action here?" And we get the rotoscoping. Like, I think it's cool that they did something like that. And they actually recruited these ballet dancers and filmed them and then put them in there. I just thought the segment itself was a little dull compared to what it could have been.
It was very simple. It was just like a one idea thing, and but it was cool though.
Maybe that's why Dave liked it. He didn't have to strain his dumb little pea brain.
Yeah, that's why I like this movie.
That's so nice. So
I don't think I said that out loud.
Should we talk more about Peter and the Wolf? I feel like that is, after Casey at the Bat, the most famous segment here, and the one that gets played on its own more often. It maybe does it add a little too much Disney-fying to this with all the cute animal characters that they give names to?
I want the wolf to go eat that harpoon man that killed the whale.
Man, you're still really disturbed by that.
That whale was brilliant, Josh. That whale could have really been a staple of American entertainment, and yet his life was taken for no reason.
Yeah, that's true. You are not incorrect about that. It was
justice for the whale.
Yes,
that whale is Harambe.
Oh, let's definitely not get into the inferences of that.
The more you guys talk about the whale, the more I can't stop thinking about Whale Fall, which comes out later this year and looks so good.
See, and they're like, that guy's not an opera singer, but he is swallowed by a whale.
Yeah,
and perhaps could use the impresario and his harpoon in order to save him. But
maybe this will be a puzzle piece.
He has to.
When Josh and I were at the movies the other day, I said that Whale Fall should do a combined universe with Moonfall.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah,
this would be better though. Anyway,
Josh, what do you want to say about Peter and the Wolf?
I know nothing. I just thought we should maybe give it a little more attention because it's such a notable short. But I feel like I've said everything that I want to say. What I want to say is I should listen to that Weird Al version because I've not listened to it, and I'd like to check it out.
Whenever I hear Peter and the Wolf, I think of Peter Wolf, the Wooba Gooba, the lead singer from the Jay Giles Band.
Should we put a Jay Giles Band song in our Make Mine Music class?
Maybe Must Have Been Lost. I feel like Must Have Been Lost would have been there. Freeze frame could work for animations. There's a lot you could do here.
You could do Centerfold with a bit of that risque animation.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. Yeah, this Jay Giles remake of Make Mine Music is really coming along nicely.
All right, let's rate Make Mine Music. Do you think out of 5 dead whales?
That's so fucked up, bro. 2.5 dead whales. It's fine. It's nothing. Whatever. It's not terrible. You can't rate it lower than that. It doesn't make it. It's just fine. It's just what it is.
Yeah, I was surprised to see many people on Letterboxd rate this at like 1 star. Like, I don't know what they expect out of this. It's a perfectly, it's forgettable, yes, but it has some nice moments, and it's a well-crafted piece of Disney entertainment from this era. So I'll give it 3. I enjoyed it. Honestly, I enjoyed this more than some of the classic era Disney features that I think maybe stretch to get to their feature length point. These are exactly the right length, most of these segments. So
like which ones?
I mean, we did a whole episode on Dumbo that I was kind of underwhelmed with. I had rewatched Pinocchio a few years ago when the horrible remake came out, which is definitely worse. But I'm kind of underwhelmed by a lot of these early Disney
This is
features.
better than Dumbo?
I enjoyed this more than Dumbo, yeah.
Man, I feel like you're Dave right now, and I don't understand what you're saying anymore.
I mean, it's not like it's not a huge difference, but I think, Dumbo should have been a 10-minute short in Make Mine Music, and then I might have enjoyed it more. So, but yeah, 3 dead whales from me. Dave, how do you rate this?
I'm also going 3. I was also very surprised by all the super negative takes on this. It just doesn't make any sense. It's fine. It's weird. It's cool.
Yeah.
Better or worse than Dumbo?
Roughly the same.
You guys are fucking out of your minds.
Did your daughter watch this with you, Jason?
She was. I was watching it in the living room, and I have a nice table, and she was doing bead art, and it was on in the background for her while she was working her creative muscles, which I respect.
All right,
working the brain, Josh, the old noodle.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah. Good for her. So
bead art, creative.
Did you do any bead art, Jason?
Oh man, you see these Hulk hands? All the beads would fall everywhere.
We'll come back and talk about the legacy of Make Mine Music. Welcome back to Awesome Movie Year. In this episode of our season on the films of 1946, we are talking about our animated pick, Walt Disney's Make Mine Music. And as we mentioned, this was part of a series of these anthology films that Disney made during sort of a down period for their commercial success. There were 3 more after this: Fun and Fancy Free in 1947, Melody Time in 1948, and The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad in 1949.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen any of those, Jason?
I've seen, definitely. Haven't we all seen Ichabod and Mr. Toad? That's a pretty famous one.
Yeah, so. That is. And that's a weird one where it's just like sort of 2 shorts that got mashed together as a feature. And they're both pretty famous on their own, especially Mr. Toad. I remember loving Mr. Toad's Wild Ride at Disneyland when I was a kid.
Classic. I'm with you on that, Josh. I think I've probably seen Melody Time too, but I couldn't place anything of it. So, because there was no Melody Toad Wild Ride.
No, there was not. Yeah, and I'm not sure. I mean, I definitely agree with you. I have seen the Ichabod and Mr. Toad, and maybe again, that's the thing about these is that it's possible that I saw those 2 segments separately, but I definitely have seen both of those. And I don't know if any of the segments from Melody Time or Fun and Fancy Free have been, put out separately necessarily. But it's possible that I've seen bits of those as well. So, I mean, this is a period of Disney, though, that is relatively forgotten until they make their big comeback in 1950 with Cinderella.
Yeah, Cinderella, which all these animators were likely a part of that we named earlier. Like I said, every single one of them had done classic films. Like Jack Kinney, you could cite for his work on Dumbo, the most hated film ever on Awesome Movie Year.
I don't think either of us hate Dumbo, just don't love it.
I did like that Hamilton Luske was the animation director for Mary Poppins. So it's fun that they're like kind of playing with form and everything, Josh.
Yeah, Hamilton Luske and Clyde Geronimi really are the 2, I think, from here that became major forces in Disney's later successes. They both have directing credits on Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, Peter Pan, Lady and the Tramp, and 101 Dalmatians. So, I mean, that's a full like run of Disney classics right there. But yeah, all of these people are integral parts of this golden age of Disney animation.
Well, look at these big stars, Josh. Nelson Eddy, star of 19 musical films, and often teamed with Jeanette MacDonald. I think they had a little off-screen romance, Josh. She's got 3 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, 1 for film, 1 for recording, and 1 for radio. Dinah Shore, we all know from her excellent variety daytime shows and her support of the LPGA, Women's Golf Association. And Benny Goodman, the King of Swing, Josh, in 1938, his Carnegie Hall concert was described by critic Bruce Eder as the single most important jazz or popular music concert in history.
Yeah, Benny Goodman also was an advocate for racial integration in his bands, and stood up for the black musicians that he played with, which is is
important.
Yeah, is important, and something that probably cost him something in that era. So he put himself on the line for those people, which is important. Dinah Shore, I always think of the Dinah Shore Weekend, the annual giant lesbian celebration in Palm Springs that's named after her, and always made me assume that she was a lesbian, but it's actually really named after the golf tournament, and she was not a lesbian.
I thought it was just her haircut.
Yeah, maybe that was it. Sterling Holloway, we discussed in the Dumbo episode, is a major Disney voice actor. He's the narrator.
Such a recognizable voice. I don't mean to cut you off there, but yes.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as he starts speaking in the Peter and the Wolf segment, you recognize him. Mainly, he's known for being the original voice of Winnie the Pooh, but tons of Disney voices. And the Andrews sisters, as we said, we talked about in our episode on Hold That Ghost, the Abbott and Costello movie, where they're pretty out of place. I think they were shoehorned in, and they fit better here, but they were very, very popular, and did the Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy of Company B. I know that's what the
that was nominated for Best Original Song in Buck Privates, Josh. So but I know I remember us discussing maybe they didn't fit, but they were so popular and that team made so much money. And honestly, I still really like the music that they did in the Abbott and Costello pieces. So I was all good with that. And then Jerry Colonna, a multi-talented, performer who played Bob Hope's sidekicks and also was the March Hare in Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, so I mean, even if this is a lesser Disney movie, and even if Disney as a studio was experiencing kind of a bumpy period, they recruited, all of these people were major, major music stars during this period of time, and they were all, happy to be involved with this Disney production. So, this is again, we're joking about a remake, but this is if they got all the biggest pop stars of the current moment to create music for an original Disney anthology right now.
Like Van Halen.
Yes, much like Van Halen.
Hey, Dave, when I was reading about Benny Goodman, it said that after swing kind of hit a down period, he started doing jazz bebop stuff. That'd be really interesting stuff. Do you have any of that stuff at the record store you stole from your dad?
Yes, absolutely. Come on down to Wax Cracks. I was trying to do Jason's version of,
Don't bring me into this. This is between you and Rich.
So with all this, though, again, this is the only out of every Disney animated feature film, this is the only one that is not on Disney Plus. It has never been released in its full version on home video. I don't know why Disney has singled this movie out as the one that we have to bury.
I think it's because of them titties, Josh.
You're making it sound a lot dirtier than it is, really. You don't
all right,
see that
fair enough. Fair enough.
This isn't Heavy Metal, another animated anthology that was perhaps influenced by Disney or perhaps not.
Yeah, I can't really say one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. I definitely did think it was that segment, though. That was my thought. That's why it was being buried, but I don't know.
Yeah, weirdly, again, they could make a little cut there, and then, they shouldn't. Obviously, they should release it uncensored, especially if it's on, a Blu-ray or something that it's just going to go to adult collectors mostly. But it's really that first segment, the Martins and the Coys with all the gunplay. And yet, as Jason pointed out many times, the whale gets murdered, and that segment apparently was deemed totally fine for children.
They don't care. The violence, Josh, whatever.
Yeah. All right. Well, anything else you want to say about the legacy of this movie, Jason?
There's really, the legacy is go search out the musical performers that you like and listen to their music. And perhaps if that's pretty much the legacy to me.
Yeah. Watch All the Cats Join In, I would say. I'm sure you can find it on its own on YouTube somewhere.
It definitely felt that proto Aristocats feel, Yeah. And that Everybody Wants to Be a Cat, which is a great song. So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No
We agree,
live action
Josh.
remake of this one coming in, probably.
Thank goodness.
Imagine the live action version of that whale getting harpooned.
Hell yeah.
Gross. You guys are gross.
That is Make Mine Music, and that is this episode of Awesome Movie Year. You can make yours our website and social media.
Holy cow, what the heck was that?
I don't know.
Jason Harris Comedy or Jay Harris Comedy on all the things. Find me on Letterboxd. Go for Jason. You already have, guys. You already have. We're at Awesome Movie Pod. That's a spiffy website of ours. You watch one of our movies on the Letterboxd, tag it with the Awesome Movie Year. And then we're at Awesome Movie Year on Facebook and Instagram.
You can find some old things from me at joshbellhateseverything.com. I'm at Josh Bell Hates Everything on Facebook, at Signal Bleed on Blue Sky and on Letterboxd. And check out our producer David Rosen's awesome podcast, Piecing It Together.
Check out Piecing It Together wherever you listen to podcasts. Follow us on social media at PiecingPod. And check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/music by David Rosen, where if you stitch together all of my animated music videos, it might be kind of as disjointed as this movie was.
Man, the David Rosen remake of Make Mine Music.
I'm into that. I'm into that. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Good call, Dave.
All right. So, Jason, what's in our next episode?
Josh, it's my pick. And you know me, Josh. I live on the edge of a lightning bolt. So I'm picking a movie I've never seen before. The first film that Burt Lancaster was ever in. It's a noir called The Killers, and I'm pumped up for it.
I am too. You know, I love film noir, and I haven't seen that one either. So looking forward to checking it out. Tune in next time for The Killers, and thanks for listening to Awesome Movie Year.
Thank you for listening to Awesome Movie Year. Make sure to follow Awesome Movie Year on Facebook, at Awesome Movie Pod on Twitter, and at Awesome Movie Year on Instagram. And if you like the show, review us and rate us with 5 stars on Apple Podcasts.
An All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.